How do you see this going today? Are you happy with
this? Is very successful.
Good.
Absolutely. Look.
The following program is rated 14+ and not intended for younger audiences. May contain mature subject matter and strong language that may require a safe space. Your discretion is advised.
I'm not trying to win. I'm not doing this because I want to beat someone, because I hate someone, or because I want to blame someone. I do what I do because it's right, because it's decent, and above all, it's kind.
Saskatchewan just got consent for parents at 16. Okay, we're looking to increase that to 18. What we're gonna do is we're gonna trust Canada's parents to parent Canada's kids.
It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to. People like me, people like you, wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world with an whole soul. Richmond, north of Richmond, Lord knows all this one.
No making hate crimes today, Joel.
This world has changed and I had to accept it. They ask my political views while I search for their hidden agendas. I don't got an answer, I try to remember the devil divides. Pressure appears from our peers. Those arguments waste our time while helping to push their lies, so fuck political views. I got common sense. I know God made man, and the sun sets on a life where we focus on things that we cannot control and accumulate so much regret. By the time we decide to live, we're practically already dead. Descendants of Adam and Eve. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. They're taking God out the schools. Our kids don't know what to believe. From 6 to 18, the curriculum fails, and Gen Z gets taught by their phones with forced feeds that get sponsored and paid by companies. That's how they attack us. It starts with the youth. If you lie enough, you'll convince anybody the lie's the truth. So telling these kids they can choose their own gender at ages they can't even tie their own shoes. Drive or drink is crazy. Common sense isn't common unless it pays me. That's the thought process daily. Look at the content we're creating.
It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to. For people like me, people like you, wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control.
And the people that are dismembering their body over there, trying to figure out what gender they are, I won't keep up with it. I'm trying to be polite. I only know about 2 genders, one male and one female, and that's everybody here.
Leave the kids alone!
Silence! No more silence! Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone! Look at the amount of people. Look, it goes straight through. Leave the kids alone! Leave our kids alone! Leave the kids alone! Leave the kids alone!
Like that, sir.
Leave the kids alone! Leave the kids alone!
Hands off our kids! 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 No more silence! No more silence! No more silence!
I'd like to thank all of you for coming, regardless of what background or religion you are. Christian, atheist, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, agnostic. We're all standing together on this issue.
Thank you to my good friend Camille and the Muslim community to be willing to stand up.
And our Christian brothers and sisters, they were condemned for standing up for children's rights, mine and yours. And they asked us to join them in this fight. And in the Bible, it says, ask and you shall reap. And we came and we responded to that call of prayer. God bless you.
And you are here as mom and dad, and you know what you are doing today. You are fighting for the future of our country.
And if you've read the mainstream media lately, you've read a lot about how this event is supposed to be about hate. And you see people across the street suggesting the same thing. Well, you know, I have to scratch my head and I have to ask, what does loving your children have to do with hate?
And I'll tell you something, we are not bigots and we are not unloving. In fact, we have stood for those precious children who have gender dysphoria.
Gender dysphoria is a form of psychological distress. Okay, let me put it more clearly. These children have some mental things going on. They're distressed. They need to be cared for.
And we want them to know that they are beautiful just the way they are. Created by God. In the family, in the body that they were meant to have.
You don't put them on puberty blockers. You don't put them on hormones. They don't need to be mutilating their body because it doesn't help them.
50% of the clinics in Canada do zero mental health evaluation of those children, and they prescribe puberty blockers or hormones on the first visit.
You know what they're telling them? That they're not good enough. That if you're a girl, maybe you should be a boy. Maybe you should cut off your breasts. We're done with the lies. Done with it.
It's the lies of wrong ideology that is putting our people into depression. If truth sets us free, then lies cause us oppression.
And it begins in schools. When kids arrive in junior kindergarten and kindergarten, when they're asked what their pronouns are. And children might not know, so the teacher has to explain to them. All children, you might be born in the wrong body in order to not misgender them by accident. That's the beginning of the indoctrination.
Another truth that unites us here today, and that is that God has entrusted the education and care of our children to the parents.
We're not willing to compromise our rights and freedoms just to satisfy yours. We're here to protect our kids' childhood and protect their innocence. These are our kids, not yours.
Converting our children to an LGBTQ religion.
It is the forceful push of their worldview and ideologies onto our religion and our children. It is the fact that they are now telling Muslim and Christian students that transgenderism or homosexual intercourse is acceptable in their religions.
It's not enough for them to be accepted and tolerated. They demand to rule over you and indoctrinate children.
You know why we end up in a crisis like this? It's because we have been outsourcing our duty, our care to a godless school board and to spineless politicians.
We want it stopped. No more. We can love people. That's not the issue. The issue is we're setting boundaries, folks. We are setting boundaries for our children.
It is the fact that they are disrespecting our scriptures by twisting it and turning it to suit their narrative. It is the fact that instead of consulting with authentic imams and scholars of our tradition, they are getting gay imams or non-binary rabbis or BIPOC priests. If you want to find common ground, come speak to us.
And then we have these third-party organizations coming into schools. We've got rainbow flags and rainbow parades and rainbow ceremonies and celebrations. And the kids confused. When they say, I'm not sure if I'm a boy or a girl, you know what they have to do because of Bill C-4? They have to affirm the child's gender incongruence.
But most of these children suffer from multiple pre-existing mental illness conditions. And our psychologists and our psychiatrists and our counselors refuse to treat them because Bill C-4.
Our entire parliament passed Bill C-4 to criminalize anyone who speaks the truth about gender ideology. We have got to require that our politicians turn that around.
And then those kids who are secretly socially transitioned at school, that means they change their name, they change their pronouns. If the school assesses that they might be unsafe, now unsafe doesn't mean what you think it means. Unsafe means somebody might question them. A rational, loving parent might say, are you sure, sweetie? Like, it's okay to be confused. And we're going to get you some help that you need.
Christians, don't think this is not coming into your homes. Don't think that this is not trying to get into our churches. It is. It will go as far as we let it go. But if we will have courage to stand up and say, absolutely not, you will not touch our children, and we will not adopt the ideology in our schools, in our mosques, in
Now is the time to reclaim our role as the primary caregiver and educator of our children.
It is our constitutional right to teach them our religion and beliefs. When did we get to the point where people who cannot procreate teach people who can procreate how to raise their kids?
You know, year by year, class by class, our children are being desensitized. They're being taught to oppose their parents on all levels, to oppose their religious beliefs.
It is the fact that Muslim students are being told by their teachers that they are backwards, or that they need to progress and catch up with Western values. What Western values are you talking about?
And they have made a grave mistake, uniting us finally to push back. That's what they fear the most, unity. That's why they cracked down so hard on the Freedom Convoy, why they arrested my father, why they convicted him, and why they wanted him in jail for giving a sermon, because he was uniting Canadians.
They are being given and shown pornographic material at young ages, and you know that. We want those books out of our schools. Out! Out!
Elementary students should not be learning about sex and who they can have sex with. Why would a teacher ask my 10-year-old sister whether she's gay? Our kids should not be made to think about their sexual preferences at this young of an age.
This affirmation leads to the medicalization. These kids are ending up at the gender clinic, and by the time these drugs and surgeries take their damage and measure against these children's bodies, they will never know the pleasures of intimacy in their lives in a healthy way, and they likely will be sterilized.
It is the fact that they're suspending or expelling religious students like that of Josh Alexander for believing in basic biblical or Quranic commandments.
So, I ended up having almost 200 counter-protesters come out to protest against me at my own high school. And I remember I felt like we had an issue, because there was probably 800 or 900 students in that building and not one parent would say anything. Now we've had parents come forward, and now look at this right here. Look at that.
And I must tell you, you are starting a quiet revolution in Canada.
5 million people hit our website yesterday night. HandsOffOurKids.ca, ladies and gentlemen, register online.
It is time to stand. I'll tell you, I am proud to be a Christian woman, and I am proud to link arms with my Muslim sisters and my Sikh sisters and my Jewish sisters. I thank you. Thank you for standing with us. United we stand. Divided they will fall.
These people that occupy these offices around us here, especially that one, they want to divide us, they want to label us, insult us, and with veiled threats threaten us. But we reject their hate. We reject their hate speech. We are not a hateful people. We are a loving human family. All of us.
Looking out here is so beautiful. I came from all the way from Alberta because I believe in this. I believe in this movement. Why are we here? They touch something that is sacred. Yes. Something that can unite us all. Look at us, different backgrounds, races, beliefs, and religions. We are Canadians. Canadians who have had enough of the woke, perverse, and harmful indoctrination happening in our culture, public spheres, and more importantly, our school system.
I think we've learned today that the people hold the power. Right now, we've got it.
God said, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. His spirit is within us, and there is a nation. He has put us, and we are alive in Canada for such a time as this. And if we don't stand up, who is going to?
Brothers and sisters, please, you need to confront oppression without fear. Those are the words of Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
We're talking about schools here today, but we need to talk about universities and the corruption in academia and the pedophiles who are pushing dangerous agendas, horrific agendas onto young teachers, onto students in every walk of life.
If you think it's okay to have a child alone and teach her about sexual orientation, convince him to get a gender reassignment surgery that will permanently damage him for the rest of his life, if you think that's okay to do to a child, then you and the devil are on the same page, and shame on you!
God created us male and female!
But there's only two sexes in this country and you cannot transition.
And people that give birth, they're not birthing persons. They are women.
And by the way, we do know what a woman is. And we're not waiting for you to teach our children that my dad can suddenly become my woman and my sister can suddenly become my brother. No, we refuse. Enough for confusing our kids.
That female students are being walked in on by biological males, right? And then their principals are telling them, sorry, we can do nothing. We can't do anything, just go use the gender-neutral washroom.
But our parents have been coerced into agreeing with this garbage. There is no scientific background for this. It's made up, it's biased research, it's methodologically skewed, and yet that's what the politicians are listening to.
Now, there's a group called Trans Youth Can, and they get a shitload of money to promote this. Now, they put out in 2016 some statistics about the number of children going to gender clinics in Canada. And in 2016, it was about 1,000, but we were seeing exponential growth. And if you do the math, and I'm a math guy, there are 10,000 children going to gender clinics in Canada this year.
In 2020, the American Journal of Psychiatry said this: there is no evidence hormones or surgery help gender incongruent patients. Did you hear that?
On my show, I've had numerous people who change their minds about being transgender. And you know who won't accept them? The bigots on that side of the street. That's who's mean to them.
If you're so confident in what you preach, come talk to us, come debate us. We're here to defend our religion. Come defend yours.
Every single European country that has taken a scientific, independent evaluation of the evidence about gender-affirming care has put the brakes on. And I just don't mean gently, I mean 2 feet on the brakes. Hard stop doing this to children.
Let me tell you, the ultimate sacrifice is not my life. It is the life of my children, and it is the life of my grandchildren, and it is the life of your children.
We must defend them to our dying breath against indoctrination by pedophiles.
There's a push to decriminalize, and you know this, pedophilia. It has been happening for years, and it's academia, it's psychologists and psychiatrists that are pushing for it. We need to hold them accountable, and we say no way, not in our watch.
We need to call for a systematic evidence review. We need to demand this of our politicians. We need to write letters. We need to talk to our neighbors. We need to replace these woke school boards who are indoctrinating our kids.
We can choose who our OCDSB trustees are. Last municipal elections saw only a 44% turnout. We are the silent majority. We have this under our control. You need to go out and vote.
We need to find people who are going to run for trustee. It's a scary thing to do. I stood up almost by myself last year, but I was joined by courageous people across Ontario who were willing to stand up and get the stuffing knocked out of us. They called us all the same names. They called all of you, in the leaked union video, transphobic, bigots, hateful, racist, white supremacist, all the ologies and all the isms. But you know what? I survived, and so did my friends, and now all of you are joining into this fight, and this is the best day that I've had
In 2 years, weaponizing of our tax dollars against our families must stop now!
As a young person, I look out and I look to the leaders who are supposed to be the politicians, the ones that are supposed to represent us. And today, guess what? We had Jagmeet Singh walk up to me, start mouthing words at me. He made hand gestures at me, insulting me.
So whether it be politicians that come against us, whether it be other people groups that come against us, we will stand united for our God.
Jagmeet Singh looked me in the eye and he did that to me. And I also did that back.
And then on the West Block, we have Polyev hiding. He's with his finger in the air trying to decide whether it's good. Where's Polyev? Where are you, Phil?
Message to Mr. Trudeau. To Mr. Ford, to Mr. Legault, to our school boards, and to the teachers. Here's the message. Hands off our children!
I am a Christian leader, and I just want to say to the body of Christ, it is time to arise.
Mr. Singh and Mr. Trudeau, you do not speak for Canadians. I promise you, look into my eyes again, and you can see it in the videos. I know I put fear in your eyes. You bullied our blue-collar truckers. But this white-collar guy is going to make sure you all eat your words.
You can count on us. You can count on me. I'm with you. I will always be with you. And I'm very proud of you today. Stay strong and free, and we will win that battle. The common sense will prevail. Thank you.
I want you to know that we will be relentless and we will be unapologetic. And whether we are from Victoria, BC, or Edmonton, Alberta, or Montreal, Quebec, or Ottawa, Ontario, we will defend our children and parents' rights at all costs.
Close your eyes so you see my vision. Unite the souls so there's no division. Look into the future, we see all seasons. Aiming for the top, but what's the reason? Hands to the sky and realize we're free. We become the legends we were meant to be. Now open your eyes and you will see. I can lead you home, just follow me.
The only way to fight such madness is with wisdom.